Ed on the YouTube chat. Robert Parish was the center.
Robert Parish. That was Ed?
Ed, attaboy, Ed.
And I snuck down to their dressing room, and I didn't know how tall Robert Parish was till I stood beside him.
Oh, yeah.
I was up to his knees.
Basketball
It was
players
ridiculous.
are huge. Arash Madani, fond memories of Robert Parish.
Robert Parish wore 00. When's that? No athletes wear 00 anymore in pro sports.
What a memory. Arash Madani gets 5 gold stars. He remembers Robert Parish's number. That's pretty good.
Oh, sure.
That's impressive.
Dark
That's
out
impressive.
east, or are you out in like Stockholm or somewhere? Where are you?
No, I'm outside my local pub, about to go in for a happy hour, but I had to first come on the sports cage and talk about Robert Parish.
You could have done it from the table or the bar. That would have been even better.
Go.
Hey, what about the schedule released today here on December 9th?
Yeah, I heard you talk about the four-banger, Barney. Yes, I think you definitely need a shower after that. I think what we learned today is that with Stuart Johnson, the way the league has always done things is not necessarily going to be the way the league is going to continue to do things.
Right.
Exactly. I've gotten some sense that one thing that Stu wants to experiment with at some point, like what he'd like to do, is to have 4 games on at the same time the following year, whatever that is, 2027, because he wants to experiment digital only, like a red zone kind of thing, to see if people are going to be interested. Are you going to get more people gambling and watching and following if there's multiple games on at once? If one game's a dud, you don't necessarily have to be stuck with that for 3 hours or turn it, or even worse, turn it off. So I think they're going to try a few different things from a content standpoint just to see, okay, what moves the needle? You know, Reynolds talked about, we've done the data, 5 o'clock Saturdays work for us. Well, they want to work the data to see what are viewership habits, especially with those not watching unconventional television, and what's a way to get a younger audience on a digital type of format. And I think that's something that could be ahead.
You know, it's funny. I'm sort of getting off topic here, but when Craig Reynolds walked into our studio earlier today, I thought it was like Santa Claus, because he shows up and everybody's happy because they won the Grey Cup. And then, of course, when you first popped on screen here, Arash, you were all smiles outside of your local eatery and pub. And I sort of thought, you're sort of like Santa Claus, too. The sports cage.
There you go, brown Santa, Don.
Everybody feels good. Craig Reynolds and Arash Madani show up, and everybody feels good, Barney.
The difference is Reynolds is getting a championship ring out of this, Don. I guess that's what stood out. What stood out to you two from what Reynolds had to say? What were your biggest takeaways?
They sold a hat every 12 seconds after the Grey Cup.
They were throwing merchandise right out of the box.
Every 12 ticket sales are up. That stood out to me. They're not changing the Canadian ratio. He said, as far as the coaches salary cap for coaches, it doesn't really affect them. It's like a budget. They run it like a business, which I appreciate, and I like that as well. I think the league still should look at it.
One thing that stuck out to me, though, I keep going back to this, but he's not taking any credit for it, but after the 23 season, people wanted a cleaning of house, the majority of fans, after 22 and 23. And he did his research, he dug in, and he kept Jeremy O'Day. There were people that canceled their season's tickets because there wasn't a clean sweep. And he did the right thing, as it's clearly turning out, by keeping O'Day. And to me, that really stands out. He's not taking any credit for it, but he said bye to a coach. They needed a change there. They brought in who I think is the best coach in the league. And the rest is history. And to me, he deserves an enormous amount of credit for standing with what he saw and what he believed in, and he was right.
Yeah, and I think, Don, at a time where it's not just the CFL, at a time where football has now just moved into a full passing offense, to go with a defensive-minded coach is a roll of the dice. But Corey Mace isn't a defensive coach. Corey Mace is a culture coach.
Yeah.
Corey Mace is an attitude coach. Corey Mace is an identity coach who just happened to play defensive line and is a really good defensive football coach at the same time.
Great
to
point.
give the offensive keys to Mark Mueller, to trust Mueller with all of it is so important. But I think it really kind of ties the bow on that culture and identity of, look, we believe in our people and we're going to move forward with our people. And the payoff comes when they're spraying champagne on one another.
Yeah. Great points.
Kid, I want to move to the Northern Star, Canada's Athlete of the Year. The second time SGA has won it. You were in a meeting today that deliberated and voted on the award. Why, Shay?
Well, there are a lot of reasons why, and I tried to articulate them kind of when I had my moment to speak. There are two players in NBA history, guys, who've won MVP, Finals MVP, and the scoring title in the same year. Michael Jordan and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
You look at Shai's calendar year, and that's what this is, Jan 1 to December 31. In 77 regular season games, Shai missed the 20-point scoring plateau once. 7
Amazing.
games in the NBA Finals, he averaged better than 30. OKC is 23-1 this season. That's only been done by 2 other teams in the history of professional basketball. Like, let me count the ways on the accolades, on the superlatives of this dude are just incredible. And, we're not even getting into what kind of defender he is, what kind of fourth quarter finisher and closer and killer he is, all those kinds of things. There's an argument to be made, believe it or not, there's an argument to be made that Shai just had the best calendar year of any NBA player ever, including Jordan, including Kobe, including LeBron, including Shaq and Wilt Chamberlain and even Robert Parish. So
Doubles.
It's just been an incredible 2025 for this dude, who, by the way, also signed a supermax contract and got himself a signature shoe. Like, all the check marks he's knocked off.
Oh, I totally agree with the decision. I don't believe it's really close, and there's something special about him because when he won, what was it, an EPSI award or whatever?
SB?
ESPY.
Be careful.
I can't even pronounce that.
Be careful with
when he won,
any last names.
when he won the ESPY award, I thought it was so cool because, of course, he's from Hamilton.
Okay.
And he looked at, go ahead.
No, you go ahead and finish
Well,
it.
he looked at his teammates who were in the audience in the ESPY awards, and he said, I love you guys, but I don't like you as much as my buddies in Hamilton. And I just said, he's such a feet on the ground dude for what you just talked about, the greatest season of all time, and I agree with you. And he just seems to have his feet on the ground as a Canadian, as most Canadians do.
Yeah, most. What was it unanimous though? Do you know that?
It was not unanimous, and there were a lot of people advocating, and understandably so, after 4 gold medals at the World Championships, after a couple of more world records, for Summer McIntosh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you can understand why. It was an incredible year for Summer, coming off the Olympic triumph in 2024, kind of repeats it in 25. And probably in any other year, this would be McIntosh's award. But again, this is a one of one. Now, look, the LA 2028 Olympics awaiter, McIntosh could end up becoming what maybe she already is, one of the great Canadian athletes of all time. But Summer was definitely there in the conversation, and it was effectively a 2-horse race with McIntosh and SGA.
Was Vlad, I know he was born in Montreal. I forget about that a lot of times. Any discussion there? Close? Maybe a couple votes?
Very briefly, in the early part of the conversation, the way it goes, 18 athletes were nominated and 5 became finalists. Vlad was talked about, but he did not even reach the 5. Like, what's interesting, guys? There's so many athletes we don't even really think about. Yeah, of course, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is front and center. But, the AL MVP was won by Aaron Judge, and Cal Raleigh was the runner-up. And, Shohei Ohtani and the NL, blah, blah, blah. Like, the world's best rugby player this year was a Canadian. Cameron Rogers, the hammer thrower, your favorite sport, Barney. She had a hell of a year. If Victoria Mboko, the tennis player who started the year 332 in the world, ends up number 18 as an 18-year-old this year, wins a couple of tournaments, including the one on home soil. So there are so many athletes we almost forget about. Vlad was mentioned, but Vlad ultimately wasn't even a finalist among the top 5.
Maybe some of the people on the committee forget that Vlad was born in Canada. I guess not. Seems a little lame, but anyway.
Well, and I always, because his English isn't that great too, and I I
think the bigger thing is, though, guys, is that internationally he competes for the Dominican Republic. He doesn't compete for Canada.
Touche, yeah.
And I think that's the bigger, World Baseball Classic next year. He'll be playing for DR, not for Canada.
Gotcha.
Nathan Rourke, would he have been in the 18?
He was definitely in the 18. I can't remember if he was top 5. He may have been. Look, the last time a Canadian quarterback won this award was Russ Jackson in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Jeez.
John Cornish has won it, obviously a running back. But Rourke's name was mentioned. I think it would have been such an interesting conversation this year if it weren't for SGA and McIntosh. Because then it's wide open. Then are you talking about Sam Bennett? Then, there wasn't even a hockey player in the top 5.
Some senior hockey weapons from last year that won some provincial banners. They missed it. Sasky boys.
They missed it. Rachel Homan was definitely a name that came up in the conversation. Had a big year, just qualified for the Milano Cortina Olympics next year. So next year's an Olympic year. It's a totally different conversation then.
Let's move on to the Kansas City Chiefs. It looked like Travis Kelce was going to cry on the bench the other night.
He probably wrote a song about it already.
Yeah. And Mahomes, he's only 30, but he just seems to have slowed down. He doesn't run as fast at only 30. But what do you think? Can Andy Reid bring this team back, or is it a very sad and slow goodbye, Arash?
Well, I think we got to pause here for a sec, Don, because you think about the last 6 years. They've been to 6 straight AFC championship games. They've won 5 of them, and they won 3 Super Bowls. Like, this is the end of an era, and it's the end of a dynasty. In the 70s, it was the Steelers. In the 80s, it was the 49ers. In the 90s, it was the Cowboys. New England had 2 of them in the 2000s and then the 2010s. And then the 20s are, you look at Kansas City. Now, here's what I wonder. Could KC, especially with Patrick Mahomes, end up being Patriots 2.0? And here's what I mean by that. The guy next to you will remind you that New England went 10 years between winning championships. They had 2 separate eras, 2 separate dynasties. Could Patrick Mahomes do it again with an altogether different cast a few years from now? Because Kelsey's done. Their offensive line's a mess. Their pass rush is non-existent. They have a really nice secondary. But going to 6 straight, playing into late January and February year after year, man, it takes a toll. So I just wonder about that with KC as they kind of look forward.
I think that's quite possible. It's very interesting you bring that up. Never thought of that. He would have to take a little bit of a hometown discount along the way at some point, much like Brady did. And then, but that's good discussion. Let's have more NFL discussion on Thursday. Plus, I'm going to send you a picture in the next 30 seconds here that you're just going to shake your head as you have a pint at your local. Oh, and then look what Colton did. Yes. There he is. If you're watching the stream, there's our boy right there, 00s, Robert Parish. What a handsome human.
So this is how pathetic my life is that I know this stat. Robert Parish is number 2 all time in NBA career wins.
Really?
As a player. How about that one? Yeah.
Behind.
You know, another 5 gold stars
Kareem.
for Rush. We throw Robert Parish at him out of the blue, and he just because he knows everything about him. Incredible.
Colson, put that picture back up real quick. Fellas, what's the jersey number?
Unbelievable, Rush.
00.
And what I found out the hard way, and I say the hard way, I won't explain the whole story, but he is not a man of many words. He had 2 words for me. 2.
Yeah.
I won't say what they are.
Started with an F? Did the first one start with an F, John?
Yes, it did.
I figured it would.
I tried to corner him in a hallway of the aging Boston Gardens.
Number 2.
Didn't go well.
Number 2 all time, behind Lou Alcindor.
Great stat.
Yes.
Okay, go have that pint. Maybe a plate of wings or something.
Have 2. You did a great job tonight, so have 2, Arash.
Looking
Maybe
good, buddy.
3.
Looking good, buddy.
Boys.
All right, have a
Thursday.
night.